My boyfriend told me I didn't live up to expectations. It's pretty much what the title says. I'm F20, writing this to get it off my chest and for confirmation about potentially leaving him, M21. After what he said to me that just came out of nowhere, or if I'm overreacting. I've known him since high school, and we're both in college now. I'm in a community college, and he goes to a university not too far from me, and we have been dating for the past 7 months. We've never had any major fights or arguments or anything. We only see each other once or twice a week during semester, and we often hang out most when school is out or over the breaks. However, over the weekend, I slept over and we planned to have sex for the first time, but he quickly became upset when I didn't want to do what he wanted, and he asked me to sit in the splits while he released, and I told him I didn't want to because I simply didn't feel like it, but he got all mad at me and said I ruined the mood and that I thought dating someone who did yoga would be more fun, and he just got dressed and went to bed without saying much. I told him that wasn't fair and that it was my first time and I didn't want to, but he just didn't care, and I felt like shit staying over with him. I tried to talk about it in the morning and he listened to me, but he said that last night didn't live up to expectations, and that maybe next time would be better, but I don't want a next time if it's all gonna be about him and not about us, and I don't think I'm being entitled by thinking that way. I'm more than some hobby that he just happens to know about, but I feel like he's trying to guilt me for not going along with it, and even after what he said, he still believed that I was the one who was being unfair, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it, and I'm considering ending things before the weekend since he hasn't changed his stance about it, but just wanted to hear some other opinions on how to best go about telling him it's over or perhaps trying one last time. Although I don't think it'll change anything, and especially if I don't want to do something that he's trying to guilt me about. Too long did not read. My boyfriend said that I'm being selfish and not living up to expectations because I didn't want to do something he asked me to do in bed, and he's been guilting me for it and I've been considering ending things, but I want to know how it would be best to go about it. Edit. This was my first time ever, and there were no discussions about his fantasy beforehand at all. And it's not like I said that I would never do it, I just said that I didn't feel like it then. And then he started shaming me and got dressed and went to bed and continued to hold the same stance in the morning, but it's not like I said that I never would. I told him I was a little scared being my first time, but he just didn't care, and that's why I'm considering it. Edit 2. I'm going to text him that it's over once I get off from work, and I'm considering sending a link to this thread and telling him what our Kuvert said, that he didn't live up to my expectations, and that the only way I'll reconsider is if he can do the splits, but I'm going to actually block him. Really appreciate all of the reassurance and kind advice. No, you shouldn't be even slightly guilty about it. If you don't feel guilty doing something sexually and someone is trying to pressure you into doing it anyways, leave the guy immediately. There is no excuse for that. Just dump the creepy weirdo through a text and never see him again. Oh my god girl, run. This guy is a selfish ass. You should have sex with caring and giving people, if you want to. Don't try again. He had his chance and he completely fucked it up. He showed you his true nature. Call him or text him and tell him it's over. Then focus on yourself and your pleasure. Ew, he is so gross. He said that last night didn't live up to expectations, and that maybe next time would be better. This is so rude. He was comparing you to some script in his head which he didn't tell you about. He wanted you to be some kind of cool sex bunny. What did he do for you? He sounds selfish. And rude. Wait, was this your first time ever? Or just with him? Either way, you didn't do anything wrong by refusing. He's obviously watched way too much porn, and you're not his sex doll that he can manipulate into any position he wants. Gross. Curious here. Did he make any efforts to satisfy you? Or did he just care about getting himself off? If he didn't take care of you first, I'd throw that dollar hit right back in his face. You know, it just didn't live up to my expectations. It's chilling how many posts are by women wondering if they're overreacting when they're being so blatantly mistreated. Cultural brainwashing runs deep. Fuck this porn-addicted asshole. Don't ever talk to him again. He is not entitled to violate your body at his whim. This guy thinks you're one of the cam girls or porn stars he whacks off to. Clearly all he knows about sex is misogynistic. As far as what to do, listen to the song, 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover, by Paul Simon. Or just write him a note and block his calls. You owe him no explanation. You deserve better and you know this. I'm really proud of you for sticking to your guns and not caving in to the show he accepted you to put on. Best of luck, you are not alone in this. For reals. Tell him you want to try pegging him. See if he lives up to your expectations. This guy, expectations? His dreams about having sex are his expectations. I bet he never talked about sex and what's okay and what not with you, so he couldn't even have any expectations. Leave this selfish ass. He doesn't even care about your well-being. Fuck that guy, he is sexualizing you because you do yoga and are flexible. This was never a real connection. He has only been dating you because he thought the sex would be hotter. Fuck him. Anyone who pressures you into sexual acts is disgusting. This time, all he did was manipulate you and express his anger. Next time he will be forcing you to do the things he asked. Don't give him another chance. Edit. Bad phrasing. Next time will be better? Please 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 babe, don't give him next time. Gross, let me help please. In a text, we want different things. There won't be a next time. Thank you, good luck. Don't text, don't call. It's not going to work. Bye bye. Ew. You are not, I repeat, you are not his personal Stretch Armstrong doll. He finds you to be entitled for not immediately catering to his stupid-ass Cirque du Soleil fantasy? Just send him this text. This isn't working for me. I'm not a toy and you're bad at sex. Bye. My first time was with someone like that and was a nightmare. Girl, he's selfish and immature. You have to dump his ass and run. It doesn't get better. Trust me. You have to enjoy sex. He's only going to ruin you the experience. Whatever you do, don't have sex with him. He is trying to guilt you into it, and he tried to make you feel like you need to do it for the relationships to move forward, but he clearly has no respect for your boundaries and sex now will not fix that. He sounds like an ass and you shouldn't feel guilty or bad about telling to F off. Sex is about both partners. The wants and needs of both people, or all, however you roll, need to be heard and tended to. Sex is not something one person gets to do to the other. His sexual ignorance is off-putting, but his arrogance about the matter is infuriating. Leave this jerk. This guy is screaming red flags, and the fact he only dated you because he thinks the sex is great because you are into yoga is just selfish and shallow. It feels like he is forcing you to. Girl, dump this guy already. He sounds controlling and he thinks you're only a sex toy. Hey, just wanted you to know, you don't live up to my expectations. Goodbye. If he gets mad about something like this, just imagine a life with him. Nope. Selfish partners are the worst. He obviously feels super entitled. If you have things you want to do, try super cool. Communicate respectfully. It's not hard. And if someone doesn't feel like something, move on gracefully. It's their body. Also not hard. Find someone who is into being a partner, not a selfish asshole. Wow. So you're not being selfish, you're not being entitled. Sex should be something enjoyable for both partners. The fact that he would say it didn't live up to expectations is so messed up. He could have kept that in his head or said it in a totally different way, like, hey, I did enjoy our time together, but next time try this or this. Like there is literally so many different ways to phrase that instead of bringing you down. This is a red flag. Also, another red flag is just thinking of his own pleasure and not yours. Trust me girl, there is bigger and better out there. The faster you leave him, the fast you'll find better. Ew, he's gross. No one wants to have sex with that. Always trust your intuition, girl. Dump the motherfucker already. Read this back and understand what a tool he sounds like to someone who doesn't know either of you. You are a human being, not a performing seal. Tell him to get lost. This guy sees you as an object. Thank you. Next. This is the type of dude who sees women as objects to fulfill a fantasy. Thank God he showed his ass so quickly and end it. I wonder how a guy gets to a point that he thinks this is an acceptable way to treat another human being. Very sad. I'm sorry for your experience. Just leave his ass and find someone better than that asshole. He has no right to pressure you, not only for sex or for doing anything you are not comfortable with. That asshole doesn't deserve you. Dump him. The way he treated you was awful. You're a person, not some toy. You picked a loser. Try again. I'll give you the same advice I give people in regards to their jobs. If you get an annual review where doesn't meet expectations is stated somewhere on it, it's time to find a new employer. At the same time, if your employer is asking you to do things you aren't comfortable doing and you suffer some sort of blowback, it is also time to find another employer. If they are forcing you to do something unsafe, you leave immediately. Here is the good news. He isn't your employer and you can leave before finding another BF. Walk away. You won't miss him. If I were you, I would just black hole this filth pig. You don't owe him any explanations. You didn't live up to my expectations on how I imagined you to have sex. Well, that's fine. You also didn't live up to my expectations to be an actual empathetic being that should touch me ever again, so I guess we both dodged a bullet. But seriously, fuck that guy. Drop him. You deserve to be respected and not shamed. Poss probably watched too much porn and now only thinks of his own gratification. Do not have sex with this chode, holy shit. He thinks of you as an object, not a partner. It's 2021. How stupid do you have to still be surprised that women have opinions and desires of their own and aren't just your personal sex doll? Like read a book or go outside sometime. This moron really thought the go-to move for your first time together was to demand some weird yoga contortionist sex? The only person not living up to expectations here is him for being such an unrealistic dumbass. Wait. This was y'all's first time and he wanted to jizz on you? If I read that correctly, respect yourself and move it along. Your first time should be a little special, not a scene from a porn flick. You are absolutely not overreacting and seem smart to me. Trust your instincts. This behavior is not okay. Heck, I wouldn't even accept this kind of manipulative entitlement from a one-night stand, so to have that thrown at you by the person you are supposedly building a relationship with. I don't think you talked about that, but I also would like to be very clear. This incident does not make you bad at sex, or anything like that. I know that there is a lot of pressure to perform well in bed, but that's crap. Good sex is built on communication and chemistry between the people involved. It's not a script where one have to bend in a specific way to be deemed good at sex. The idea that he actually believes that good sex is made possible by specific positions is laughable at best. Girl, break up with him. That's a big-ass red flag right there. He can't make you feel bad for something you didn't sign up for to begin with. He can't make you do anything, especially in bed. He has to respect in your wishes, no questions asked. This is not a healthy relationship, I can tell as someone been in multiple toxic ones in the past. Call him on the phone. End it there. Will he care? No. It would always be something. Maybe in the future too you would not add up to a porn star in his eyes. Happy you woke up in time. You still have time to find the right guy. Unbelievable. To think it would be bad enough. To actually come right out and say it is downright disrespectful. He's actually trying to embarrass you so that he can get into your knickers. He doesn't deserve that privilege. In fact, he doesn't deserve any privileges. It's not even the sort of thing that you'd say to a good friend, unless in jest. Don't try one last time up. It's not worked out and his attitude is crap. There isn't a really good way to break it off with him. If you try to give him a reason, he will just talk around and down to you. Just go no contact. Don't answer your phone or messages for 3-4 days. When you do eventually respond to a phone call, just say that you've been busy. If he asks to meet you, same response. Busy. It will wither on the vine. Good luck. He sounds like a terrible person. Respect your own boundaries even if he doesn't. Remember that if you give in to something like this, he'll keep pushing you farther. I'd recommend leaving since he doesn't seem to care about you. End it. Please. Yeah, time to dump the garbage. He's disgusting and selfish and treating you like a toy he bought. He's an idiot who had a fantasy and you didn't want to do something in his fantasy and he got all pissy. His thought process is like imagining a gymnast girlfriend who would contort herself in all sorts of ways to make him satisfied. You have just learned that he just thinks of you as an object to stick his penis into. It's your first time having sex and instead of being excited and interested in you, all he could show was that he was resentful. I think you should be with a person who will be happy and excited to be with you. I don't believe any of this happened. Bruh, I'm so sorry that your first time was this bad. Mine was bad as well. 0 love 100% frustration. I think his expectation and his reaction is extremely selfish and my guess a pretty inaccurate description of his personality. My yuck factor hit the roof. I once had a friend who came to me in tears because after the first time with her BF, he said she was kinda heavy and he likes his girls more on the skinny side. I told her if she ever gets naked for anyone and they turn out to be anything less than absolutely thrilled, that's a deal breaker. That what this reminds me of. I wouldn't waste my time with that guy. I didn't even get past the second paragraph. Dump him. You don't owe anyone anything sexual, and your boyfriend sounds like a huge jerk. You will be so much better off without him. Don't waste any more time. Cut and run.